The Toronto Tempo win their first game in franchise history, beating the Seattle Storm 86-73 on the back of some quality ball movement, hot shooting, and stellar late game defense. Let's talk about it. We have to start on the offensive end. After game one, Sandy Brondello really keyed in on the team's quote-unquote running habits, saying the players spent too much time lingering up and down the floor, and the fact that they finished with just 10 assists is part of why they lost the game despite holding Washington to just 68 points. It was very clear that against Seattle, it was all about early passing decisions, being quicker, getting off the ball, and more intentionality about getting downhill. The Tempo's first points came on this possession, where Julie Alemán came off a pair of staggered screens. She flowed into a pick and roll with Niara Sabali, and she found the rolling big up close for the basket. This was right after the Tempo had gone pick and roll with Niara and Marina Mabry, and it was clear they were trying to flow into some more pick and roll actions out of their sets as part of the equation by bringing in that rolling threat to open up more passing opportunities. If you look later here, the Storm are picking up Kiki high up the court. Tiani recognizes it, she sets that step-up screen, and Kiki's able to get that north-south driving lane that she likes. She doesn't deter from getting to the basket, goes all the way to the hoop for the finish. But where the offense really got it going was in transition. The Tempo finished with 17 fast break points to the Storm's 2, and it wasn't complicated. Like Sandy said, it was just about less lingering. Here, you see great awareness by Julie. She steps into the passing lane, and the moments her hands are on the ball, both Julie and Kiki are starting to work up the floor, hustle over to get that 2-on-1 for an easy finish, including the and one. Even off makes, just getting the ball up faster exposed some of the Storm's poor floor balance. Here, Malonga gets lost in semi-transition. Maria Conde is able to walk up into an easy triple. That was one of her 4 threes she made against the Storm. Here, Julie sees the Storm packing the strong side. She quickly shifts it over to Marina, who swings it to Slim. They work a quick give and go. It's an open look and a 3 for Marina. She finishes with 6 threes, 26 points, one of the many benefactors of the Tempo's 21 assists on the night on 30 made shots. Now here to me is the best example of the Tempo's intentionality on offense and what moving with some pace did for them. Off the Storm make, no hesitation to inbound the ball. Julie pushes it up the court, flows into a pair of staggered screen. She hits Slim with the ball reversal pass. It creates this 2-on-1 in the corner. Slim finds Kiki, who cans her first triple in the W thanks to a bit of a lucky bounce. And just because I can, I wanted to point out one more play. This was great play design out of a delay type set by Sandy, and it showed how her 5-out system can really open up room for players to flow into advantages. Here the ball is worked toward Nina Milic, who's able to occupy the Storm's rim protector and dominate Malonga above the break. Kiki Rice is able to then push into a weak side pin down. That occupies what would have been the help defense, because on the strong side, you have Marina ghosting off this screen into a curling drive for a layup. It's a tidy bit of offense, and it's a sign that the Tempo appear to be finding that chemistry they've been working towards since training camp. Sandy's offense is all about read and react, and the more they can work against tilted defenses, the better they'll be at turning small advantages like Slim popping out and getting that ball reversal pass from Julie and turning it into big advantages like creating that 2-on-1 that gets Kiki Rice that open 3. Sandy spoke about it before the game. The Tempo like to track first, second, and third side of actions, with the third side being the shot that usually generates the most points per possession. It's their most productive shot that they get out of it. And against the Mystics, the Tempo didn't really get to any of their third side actions. The flow of offense kept stopping short, whether that was because of the ball movement decisions, whether that was because they were, again, lingering on offense. So to see them right that ship, have a better offensive night, and not just because that somebody like Marina Mabry was taking and making tough shots, which she, again, did in this game, but it was also players like Maria Conde being more involved offensively, Kiki Rice being more aggressive, again, with those north-south drives. Sandy talked about it. We needed to get other players shooting the ball. We have good quality shot makers on this team, so leveraging that was going to be something they wanted to accomplish in this game, and they did, and it demonstrated when this offense is peaking and when it's hitting its stride, what it can really look like. And it's only game 2. Sandy said this isn't a finished product, but it was definitely a step in the right direction. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention the defense as well before we wrap this up. Unfortunately, there aren't really any available clips for me to highlight it for you, but it was telling that when this game got into winning time and the Tempo really wanted to push this victory over the finish line, it was the defense that truly did get them there. The Storm were held to just 3 of 10 shooting in the fourth quarter for 11 points, which included 5 turnovers that they committed, and going the final 7 minutes with just 1 made basket. Dominique Malonga, who basically had her way for the first half, where she had 14 points, she scored 7 the rest of the way. She didn't even register a field goal attempt in the fourth quarter. And the Tempo were able to do that even without Temi Fagbenle, who was out with a shoulder injury, without Isabel Harrison, who still hasn't been able to suit up because of a hand injury of her own. It was Niara Sabali, who I think has been pretty stellar defensively, generating deflections, making post-entry touches much more difficult in the second half. You had a ton of gap help. Again, somebody like Julie, I thought she was a ball hawk in this game. She had 3 steals in the first half. She was everywhere on the floor. Tiani Key obviously starting in this game in place of Temi, the rookie stepped up in her limited minutes. And then Maria Conde, who Sandy had said basically they are forced to play her as a post defender out of necessity. And Maria has done nothing but step up in the situation, made the most of it. And tonight, the Tempo's defense really did buckle down in the fourth quarter and help them get over the hump when it came to this victory. Brittany Sykes, aka Slim, like she said it coming out of this game, like shots falling, shots not falling, the defense is non-negotiable. That's going to be what has to be consistent no matter what. And so far through 2 games, their defense has been the most consistent. And then it was great to see it compounded with the shot making in this game. But overall, it was like, if there was ever going to be an effort that was going to reaffirm what this team is trying to establish in terms of an identity defensively, it was this. And luckily for the fans in attendance and all of us watching, it came in a big, big win, the first in franchise history. This was exactly the type of effort you want to see that'll kind of head in the right direction. The Tempo are now heading on a 4-game road trip, the first in franchise history. So it'll be interesting to see how they deal with it. But if they can continue the effort like this, where the team is kind of trusting each other offensively, defensively, they're hitting their stride as well, I think it'll be a fun road trip and they're going to be in some competitive games. But for now, that does it for me. As always, thank you to everyone who tuned in and got to this point of the video. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. And if you have any thoughts on the Tempo's 83-76 win, sound off below. And don't forget to subscribe to Raptors Republic for more Tempo content all season. Coming out of the first game breakdown, the reception was so positive. I want to thank you all for the support. And again, if you have any thoughts and ideas of what type of Tempo coverage you want to see, please let us know down in the comments below. But until next time, I'm Zulfi Sheikh. Stay blessed. Peace.